WLNS is here for you with 6 News at 11.
Many schools are scheduled to resume classes on Monday after the holiday break, and COVID-19 cases is a concern for many. It's our top story at 11. Thanks for joining us. I'm Yamari Sase. The spike in COVID cases among children has some teachers and parents questioning what to do next. Tom Hansen is here for you now with the story.
As millions of kids head back to class tomorrow, the new year is bringing a new uncertainty. Parents spending hours in line for testing, often confused about school guidance and protocols that vary district to district and even school to school. Many worry their kids are at risk.
They got to use the same bathroom, the same lunchroom, so you're still exposing back everybody to COVID.
More than 2,000 K-12 schools have already closed or will offer remote learning, but most of America's major school systems will resume this week by teaching in person while they can.
If the teachers we have are coming down with the virus, who's going to teach the students?
In this COVID crash course, testing is key. Dr. Matthew Harris is a physician at Northwell Health in New Hyde Park, New York.
We're seeing a scramble to get rapid tests and PCRs to students and faculty ahead of their return tomorrow. Is testing enough?
I think testing in combination with robust vaccination programs adds a valuable tool to the arsenal.
Schools in Seattle and Washington, D.C. have extended their winter breaks, using the time to distribute thousands of rapid tests to students and faculty. Baltimore will provide on-site PCR tests to schools with outbreaks, and California will provide 1 to 2 tests per student ahead of tomorrow's reopening.
Now, other schools are hunkering down as the Omicron wave sweeps across the country. Starting tomorrow, 8 school districts in New Jersey will go remote. Schools in Atlanta will do the same, and experts are predicting that the surge will peak around mid-January. Tom Hansen, CBS News, New York.
A reminder for parents back here in mid-Michigan now, the Lansing School District will be virtual their first week starting tomorrow due to the high COVID positivity rates in the area. Now remember, the virtual only will just be offered to students as teachers and staff are still scheduled to report to their building. And tonight, East Lansing Public Schools are reminding parents to test their kids for the virus before sending them back to the classroom tomorrow. The school system says they were able to provide families with at-home tests through the Michigan Take Home Backpack program. Officials say that testing is a big part of getting COVID under control, and there are several places to do that here in mid-Michigan. Tests are available at Sparrow's drive-through site in Frandor, but be prepared to wait in line. And 10 minutes down the road, the Ingham County Health Department's testing location is offering a spit PCR test with little to no wait. And over at Spartan Stadium, they're doing testing as well Monday through Friday. Now, for all of these locations, bring an insurance card if you have one and a driver's license. For more information on these testing sites, head to our website, WLNS.com. Well, Michigan State University's performance venues are rushing to adjust to the school's new COVID-19 policy. Attendees will now need to show a photo, digital, or hard copy of their vaccination card to enter any indoor sporting events and performances. Guests that do not have a vaccination card can still get in if they have a digital or printed copy of a negative COVID test completed within 72 hours of the event. Now, Lisa Rentz, a spokesperson for the Wharton Center, says some shows they've done in the past had even stricter COVID-19 guidelines. She says she's confident her team will be able to accommodate this new policy before the Broadway show on Tuesday.
I know that all staff will be pulled in as needed and will accommodate that. And we're pretty confident, because we have done this before for the symphony orchestra, that we can indeed turn it around and get it done for cats as well, and hope to eliminate wait time for patrons coming in.
Now, the policy only applies to those 12 and up, and younger children will be required to wear masks. As the long holiday weekend wraps up, some travelers are at a standstill. More than 2,400 flights have been canceled today, partially due to bad weather and the Omicron fueling staff shortages. Holiday air travel is up 184% from 2020. At Chicago's Midway International Airport, winter weather forced more than half of their flights to be scrapped. And it's not just in skies. Jeff Spring of AAA says holiday road travel is also at near pre-pandemic levels from 2020. It jumped 28% even as packed roads and dangerous wet and icy conditions slowed many down.
it was one of the busiest travel holidays on record. Nationwide, not just hitting the roads, but all over different kinds of travel formats. And that's the most in nearly 20 years since AAA started doing this tracking.
Experts say pandemic fatigue is one reason why so many people are hitting the roads during this holiday season. But Omicron could have a huge impact on those numbers in the coming weeks. And take a look at your screen. If you have a flight leaving the Capital Region International Airport right here in Lansing, all flights are on time tonight, so there's no need to worry. Well, home at last, the West Michigan family held captive in Haiti is returning home for the first time. Cheryl Noker and her 5 kids were among the 17 missionaries kidnapped by a Haitian gang in October. Among the family members taken, 28-year-old Sherilyn, teenagers Cassandra, Brandon, and Courtney, and 6-year-old Sheldon. All home in Hartford today for a homecoming meal hosted by friends and neighbors. The family's father, Ray, who was on the trip but not among those kidnapped, is taking us back to the moment he was reunited with his family after the remaining hostages pulled a daring escape in mid-December.
I just remember running up, the window was open, jumping on the side, and I started yodeling. I learned to yodel in Kenya, and it was just an amazing time.
Do you know what led to their release?
I think there were multiple things. There had been a ransom agreement reached with the hostage takers, and that, to my understanding, that ransom was actually delivered the Sunday night that my wife and son and the other lady were released. The ransom agreement was for the entire group, but there was some division within the gang, and so they were not able to release all of them at that time. I do not know the amount of the ransom or who paid it.
All of the family members are said to be in good health as they focus on readjusting to life at home. Well, back home this week, you have the chance to get rid of your Christmas trees. The city will be going around from January 3rd to January 10th collecting them. Trees should be put on the curbside like normal, and you must take all bags, decorations, and other items off the tree in order for it to be collected. And a reminder, all trees that are taller than 6 feet must be cut in half. Well, now to politics, the impending anniversary of the January 6th Capitol riot. You might remember a mob of pro-Trump rioters mobilized by then-President's false claims of a stolen election storming the Capitol to try and disrupt the certification of the election results. The House of Representatives moving quickly, charging Mr. Trump with inciting insurrection against the U.S. government and impeaching him for a second time with just 6 days left in his term. That's not it. January 6th also led to hundreds of court cases and the congressional probe. As the date looms, there's a lot of questions. ABC's news political director Rick Klein says if there's any security concerns, we should be warned of ahead of time.
Of course, our concerns, there are no specific threats that have been reported, no expectation of a rally or anything like that, but we know how quickly events can get out of hand, so security officials say they're ready. They're also going to be putting into place some of the changes, some of the new protocols to bring in more individuals on a faster basis if necessary. One of the shortcomings of a year ago was just how slowly it took to dissipate that angry and violent crowd.
Now we will definitely continue to follow this story as the anniversary of the Capitol riot gets closer.